Hello and welcome to another Spindas Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. Today we've got a pretty interesting team coming up against Emma here, who's using pretty much used apart from the Azumarill. And I'm pretty much running the same team as usual, but I'm giving Illumise a try. As I say, it's one of the few prankster Pokemon, and I've never seen anybody use it, so I thought, hey, let's give Illumise a try. It's cool slash cute looking Pokemon. So it's always nice to see another cute Pokemon getting used and, messing things up in competitive battles. Anyway, so she leads off with a Hydreigon, and I decide to leave him off with Illumise herself. So here, okay, these things usually run special, so I'm going straight for the Combine to see if I can live a Flamethrower from this thing. So I'm just trying to try this thing out so far, and she decides to switch into the Jolteon. I'm not sure why. I never thought Illumise would scare a Hydreigon off, but hey, what do you know? So I go for the Confide and lower this thing's special attack, and I decide to get the Prankster Toxic off, because I know she's probably going to go for Volt Switch or something like that. So I managed to get the poison on this thing, and she does indeed go for the Volt Switch, which causes a good chunk of damage considering I got the Confide off on this thing. And she reveals herself to be Life Orbed, and it goes back to her. So Volt Switch is definitely a great move. I'm sure you all know how it works, but that's why I do carry the Ground type on this team, just to avoid this thing. So anyway, she brings out the Crobat, and what likes to take flying attacks? My Bezuso. Bezuso don't give two shits about versing no Crobat. So it goes for the Brave Bird, and it's going to cause, what, less than 10 damage here? Oh, actually causes 20 damage. That's a decent chunk from the Crobat. So I'm guessing max attack, maybe. Say these Crobats do end up hitting like a truck, but against Bezuso, not a chance. So she decided to go into Chest Note here, and I just went for the Thunder Wave, because I wanted to get a Paralyze on something. In hindsight, I should have probably went for the Stealth Rocks. It's unlike that Crobat was running Defog, to be honest, because I think it was more of an attacking one. So I go for the Thunder Wave here to paralyse his Chestnut, which really doesn't make much of a difference at the minute. So, and I'm not hanging around to take a fighting attack. I mean, this thing could be a defensive wall, Leech Seed, etc., or it could be just a big, bulky attacker. So she goes for the Leech Seed here. Here, seeding my Sylveon. So this is going to start racking up on the damage. But I know she'll have to she'll have to withdraw this thing eventually, so she reveals a Spiky Shield. I think every Chestnut set should carry this. It's a signature move and it's a good one. I think only Cacturn gets it now, I believe. No, never seen a Cacturn used, unfortunately. It's a pretty cool looking Pokemon though. Anyway, so I go for the Hyper Voice, and of course it's blocked by the Spiky Shield. I mean, you gotta love that animation. Just get a load of those things and form a shield wall. It'll be impenetrable. So she does withdraw the Chestnut, fearing the Hyper Voice, of course, and she goes into the Dual Blade. So I'm guessing the Eviolite's set, and it's going to start setting up Sword Dances, etc. So I go for the Hyper Voice. Does a decent chunk considering how low this thing's special defense is, but as I say, with Eviolite, it's really going to do its job. So after the Leech Seed recovery, it's going to recover a good chunk of its health since I am very HP invested, and I'm not going to hang around to take a Steel move from this thing. And I go straight into Nelly to try and scare it off. But she does decide to set up the Sword Dance here. And as soon as I see the Sword Dance set up, I think, well, it's going to stay in now, so I'm going to have to hope my Earthquake's hit and hurt. So I go for the Earthquake. There's a solid chunk of damage considering this thing's defense, and she goes straight for the Iron Head, and that does a good chunk of damage. So I'm more of an attacking Donphan than a defensive one. She goes for the Shadow Sheet to try and finish me off, but my Donphan hangs in there like a complete beast and goes straight for the Earthquake, finishing this thing off for good. Say, if it got any more Sword Dances up, that thing would be scary. So you don't want to underestimate this thing. Its evolved counterpart might be banned, but I don't know, Dual Blade's pretty good on its own. So into the Chest Note here, and here it's a load of shenanigans, because I expected just to finish me straight off, so I go for the Ice Shard, not wanting to contact the Spiky Shield. And she starts setting up spikes, so it confirms it's a defensive wall Chest Note, and I'm just thinking, oh great. So now I'm thinking, well, she probably thinks I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin to try and get rid of this thing, so she's going to go straight for the Spiky Shield. And at this point, I don't know why I didn't switch out, but I really did want those spikes away while I had the chance. Because I know those spikes have really started messing up my team. Spikes, Stealth Rocks, I mean, I've got my Clefable in there, but it started messing up some of my walls, etc. I mean, Angronga does not like spikes. So I'll go for the Rapid Spin here, take a chunk out of... Try to take a chunk out of this, well, not a chunk out of the Chestnut. Rapid Spin's not going to do any damage, but it's to withdraw the spikes away. So I get rid of those annoying spikes, and of course this thing's going to eat its leftovers and set up more spikes. So it's just a never-ending spike war. And I expected the spiky shield again, but I go for the ice shard here, and she does make the safe play of going into the leech seed. I mean, I could have got rid of those spikes while I had the chance, but the leech seed's just going to hit me and finish me off here. So down goes my poor old Donphan, which is a damn shame. This, these things are pretty good Pokemon. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say they're ever going to be OU material, but there's a lot of viable sets. I mean, I think it's great to see these things get play rough now. Just, it gives it such a good move pool, in my opinion. So I'm going to my Clefable, which is the finger. Because of course this thing, it will give you the finger when it attacks. So she makes a smart play of going into the Crobat here, and I go straight for the Moonblast, and this Crobat's going to take it like an absolute champ. So at this point, I didn't think she was actually carrying the U-turn, because she didn't use it before when I brought out the Angron. So I bring out Angron here to sponge whatever attack this thing is going to go for, and of course she goes for the U-turn. It does very little damage, say Angron, rarely bulky walk, especially when it Mega Evolves. So when it comes to pure Steel typing, pure Steel typing is a really awesome type, like 6 resistances, only 3 weaknesses, and it's got good coverage as well. It can cover its weaknesses with Earthquake and Ice Punch as well. So here I decided, well, I didn't really want to switch into anything, and I should have just went for the Ice Punch because it would have killed. But I thought she might want to stay in and get the Thunder Wave on this thing, but obviously I predict wrong and go for the Earthquake, and she of course just goes straight back into the chest note to take that Earthquake really well. But this thing's defense and attack is great. It's got good health. I mean, I really want to auto-trial one myself, but it's just that 4 times weakness to flying, and with, Talonflame being out there in the competitive scene. I mean, a lot of people want Talonflame to be banned, but it doesn't hit that hard considering, but banded, yeah, the banded set does really hurt. So, lucky for me, I managed to set up my Stealth Rock and get the Paralyze and Chest Note, but really that just gives this chance more of a thing to eat the leftovers and get that recovery which it needs. So I just decided I'm going to switch out and save it for Death Fodder later, maybe when that Crobat comes in. So going to my Clefable, if this thing wants to set up spikes, it can do now, because Clefable's just going to go in and do its job. So more lefties recovery for the chest note, but I'm pretty confident I can take this thing out. I expected to switch out into the Crobat or the Spiky Shield, but I go straight for Ice Beam here, and then I get really lucky, it hits. And I'm thinking, whoa, I never knew Clefable was that powerful. Then it goes the critical hit, I'm like, oh, I needed that. I so needed that. Wasn't for that crit, this game could have been different. Could have been definitely different. So it goes to Uzumarill here, and I'm thinking, oh, this thing's going to set up a belly drum, isn't it? Yeah, I really didn't want to stick in either, though, just to the case of risk of, I need to be Clefable for later on. So, unfortunately, I knew this is going to have to be the sacrifice to this great Uzumarill. And, spikes at it, I set up my, 8 Sitrus Berry, and of course she does go for the belly drum. I mean, for some reason I thought, I might be faster than this thing, but this thing isn't very well bred. The only special defensive increased nature I've got was Sassy from my Dittos. So with the reduced speed, I'm not going to be able to outspeed this thing, and it's just going to hit me straight with the Aqua Jet. Taking out Illumise before she even got a chance to set up a Toxic. It's a shame, I really wanted to try and show her off a bit more, but what are you going to do? So I switch into my Dragonite here, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to outspeed this thing even with an Adamant Nature and hit it straight up with a Thunder Punch, killing it. So you're not going to want to switch out after setting up a belly drum, so I'm really glad I've got the Choice Band on this thing. Here, I didn't really want to stay in, even though I have the multi-scale and might have been able to finish off this battle quicker. I'm thinking, okay, I want to save Dragonite and Clefable as long as I can. And I just send in Bezuso as Death Fodder. But of course, I believe she makes a smart play here and goes straight for the U-turn again, yeah. Goes straight into the U-turn. I mean, U-turn. I reckon the Brave Bird probably would have killed Bezuso there, but I think she wanted to switch out into something safer, which is of course going to be her Hydreigon. So now she reveals the Fire Blast, so I wonder why she didn't stay in, first of all. Probably she thought, I've never seen Illumise, didn't want to take any risks with it. I mean, I wouldn't want to. If I see something unusual, I'm very cautious around it. So, I go into the finger again. And my Clefable's going to be able to take whatever attack from this. I was favouring the Flash Cannon, but straight for the Fire Blast again. So I'm reckoning she may be scarfed. And of course, I'm going to go for the Moonblast and just kill this thing off. It's no way going to... If you've got a 4 times weakness, it's very rare you're going to live, unless you're a Ferrothorn. I mean, Ferrothorn is that bulky, you can literally take a Fire Blast and stuff. So, into the Jolteon. Expected a Volt Switch here, so I thought, you know what, I'm not switching out. Clefable can take whatever this thing wants to throw at it. And hits me with the Thunderbolt, and I just live. Literally just live, and I'm able to finish this thing off with another powerful Stab Moonblast. So, you don't want to underestimate Clefable. You might see a lot of them on Wi-Fi, but when they appear, they usually cause a lot of havoc. So she goes into the Crobat again. And this thing is just going to Brave Bird me and just take me out there and then. So it's going to hit, it's going to hurt, and it's going to kill off my Clefable. But Clefable did a really good job there. Seriously, she did an awesome job. Then just like, it took out loads of the opponent's team. You don't want to mess with the Clefable. Seriously, if you're not using the Clefable, give one a try. They are awesome. So anyway, I go into my Band Dragonite and just finish off this battle with an extreme speed. And there's the battle done. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Emma, thank you for the game. If you like, please feel free to leave a comment, etc. See, the comments, the likes, the subs mean a lot to me. It's awesome to see the support I'm getting from you people. And anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you tune in again. Peace.